Okay, Imperator. Um, so all I know right now is that his name is Towen, and everything else about this guy, I thought maybe you guys could all put together if you wanted. If you wanted, that way, like I don't
Mm.
want to build a total a-hole that you guys have to serve. Ooh, stub my toe, and
Uh-oh.
and then have you guys have a really bad time when you have to engage with him. So there's a lot that goes into an Imperator. Does everyone have their PDFs open to page
Yeah.
144?
I also have a quick cheat sheet
Good old
over
Bradley.
to the side. So if you wanted to take a look over there.
Wow. I didn't even see that. Okay.
Cheat sheet.
Yep, on in Bradley's or Slantal's self-built sheets for us. He has built the Imperator property index. If you scroll to the right beyond handicaps.
And this is also found in the book. So if it's easier for you guys to just view the PDF, the property index is just at the end of the broader section. But this is the same thing, so you don't have to keep going back and forth, scrolling up and down the PDFs.
Thank you. That's very streamlined for streaming. So that was very nicely done.
So
this looks so good.
We have all the names of everything that we could add to our Imperator, and then all of the descriptions are just going to be in the book.
Yeah, there's only little brief descriptions here that they were given. So if you want more details of what these things actually mean, we can check the PDF.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing that is kind of weird is negatives are bad things and positives are good things. And so -1 point is actually, you can go into negative points. You can't go into positive points, if that makes sense. So currently we have 0 Imperator points. If we want to actually get any of these properties, we have to look at some of the negative ones and take those.
There you go. So, what we should probably do then is look at all of the negative properties first, like failing and cruel and unshining. Is that a word?
Unshining it is now.
It's in the book,
now.
so
it's so humorful. Throwback.
Yes. This is why we're friends.
It's a throwback.
Definitely right.
So we should decide which negative properties you guys would add to Towen. And then once we've kind of taken those, we can find out how many points we have to then allot toward positive properties for him. So I'll go down the list. The first one that we have here under the Dynasty Points heading is failing, and that's a -1 point or a -2 Dynasty Points per session. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's -1 Imperator point, and then -2 Dynasty Points per session. And those are not the same. Negative dynasty points are a bad thing. So failing imperators are slowly losing their strength and mystic power in the war. And in time, they may be wiped entirely from existence. They begin with 10 dynasty points and lose 2 at the beginning of each session. And when they run out, the Imperator loses 1 Imperator property point. If there are no positive properties remaining to be lost, and there are no appropriate negative properties to gain, then all of the PCs lose 1 character point. After this loss, the Imperator has 24 dynasty points available, and the decline begins all over again. So
Yeah.
basically what will happen is the Imperator will become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker until he has no more power to draw from as far as his own power goes. And then he will steal points from you guys. He'll steal strength from you guys to bolster his own strength. And then then he'll just continue to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And the whole process will repeat until there's no more strength remaining from you guys to steal. And at that point, he dies, he vanishes, he's gone from existence, and with him, if I'm correct, with him would be you as well, because his soul shards reside within you.
Yeah, there's some rites that the rituals that could save a power with a failing Imperator, but most of the time you die.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so I'm so sorry, guys. So are we talking about Towen? We're building Towen, right? Or are we building our chancel?
No, we're building Towen.
Okay, so if Towen dies, we die?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, man, if we kill Towen,
but
Towen do all the stuff. But just kidding, it is the opposite.
It's like a failsafe for a coup d'etat. Can't have that.
Yeah, never mind. New strategies, my friends. New strategies.
Can't have that. It puts a clock on the game. So really, like, you guys are constantly trying to beat the clock. It's also a really nice little setup that he has for himself, because you guys would constantly be searching for something in some way to make him stronger for fear of yourselves getting weaker or dying. So if that's a weakness that you'd like him to have or are cool with, we can go ahead and add failing. If you'd like to keep going down the list, we can do that too.
Let's look down the list. I vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's very punishing.
Yeah. And of course, that's the first one they put there.
Yeah. They're like, here, I have one for you.
So the next one being cruel. Hold on, I gotta.
This one sounds fun for Tomo.
Okay, I was going to put in the chat, I'm being careful about talking out loud because I don't want to talk over them. But yeah, Aaron, we are playing Nobilis. So we're setting up basically our storyline. Nobilis is like Dungeons and Dragons. It just doesn't have dice. And it's like the way FacelessFCLS puts it, and I think it's beautiful. It's like a little play you do with your friends. So right now we're building an Imperator, and they're kind of like our head of household. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm excited you're here.
Right. So, cruel. Cruel Imperators may have some rudimentary sense of what others feel, but only so that they may better crush joy and enhance pain. The nobles of such an Imperator are not targets. They share a soul with the Imperator, and only the most masochistic Imperators enjoy torturing themselves. There is a price for serving such a regent, however. A cruel Imperator does not understand the limits of those who serve them. They do not push their powers deliberately beyond their limits, but they may well ask much more of their nobles than the nobles can possibly provide. And they only grow angry when these powers fail. So you're basically working for Palpatine at that point.
I don't know how I feel about that. Thoughts from the crew?
I mean, I know Tomo would be screwed because a Imperator that really wants something from Tomo that can't use his domain at all is going to be screwed.
Yeah,
that's true. I vote we look down the list again.
Let's keep going down the list. If cruel were a pair of shoes, they would be a Steve Martin joke. Laura gets that one. All right, so the next one is unshining. Let's see. Unshining Imperators often stand at the forefront of the war with little to spare for the earthly realm. Most powers have been imprinted with creation's cause. Powers who belong to unshining Imperators are simply compelled to serve. In the face of such ill-born service, their personal strengths are reduced, while the terror of the excrucians is both seductive and overpowering. When an excrucian shard takes to itself its strength, its glamour, and its horror, and its unearthly, ungodly beauty, it has effects on these powers much like those a bright... What am I reading? That is the weirdest sentence. It has effects
We're
on
doing
these
great.
powers much like those a bright warding has on the excrucian shards. It is as if the excrucians had an octorus 50 feet in radius. Inside that octoratus, these powers must spend aspect points again and again, and if they do not wish to be routed in terror or impressed into temporary, worshipful service. So, to put that in much easier to listen to terms,
Thank you.
unshining imperators are... I really hope I'm using this word correctly, but I don't know nearly enough about medieval warfare. They're like the vanguard, right? They're the front lines. They're out there fighting this war, but they don't project the magical powerness. I don't know. I'm losing my words on that one. But it makes them susceptible to excrucian attack.
Okay.
They're more easily overcome by the dark powers that come from the Anguishers, basically.
Oh, got it.
So, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Also, could be a problem.
Yeah. One, it sounds super confusing, and two, it sounds like a problem.
I'll be honest, I was kind of on track with it there until it started talking about the octoratus, and I was like, I don't know what that word is.
Yeah.
And this book is full of so many words that I do not know, and I'm not gonna like pause in the middle of a stream to look up the word octoratus.
That's their magical word for like penetration protection. It's like armor, kind of magical armor.
Is it like the bubble shield from Halo 3?
Yeah.
That's a reference I get. Just say bubble shield from Halo 3, Nobilis. All of your readers will get it.
All of them.
All of them. It's a weird word, octoratus. Especially when it just shows us a word like bright warding. People know what a ward is. Just call it a dark warding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. I should have written this book. If I had been
Yeah, I was like, maybe you should rewrite it.
If I were smart enough to create a game as high concept as this, probably would. But I'm not, so I didn't. Right. Next, we have... What is that? Handicap? Oh, so your Imperator can have a handicap as well.
Oh, okay.
I think he gives us handicaps, if I remember correctly.
He gets what?
He gives us handicaps, if I remember correctly.
You're right.
Wait, does he give us more? Because I started going a little crazy last night, adding handicaps to my character.
It's
and
true.
then, like, reading them.
Oh, I need to do that. So.
She's got so many handicaps.
I thought it would be more.
Boy.
And then I changed my mind last minute. And if we have somebody giving us more, I will definitely be rethinking some decisions.
Oh, you do? You have 5?
I have more.
Do you need me to add more space for you?
No, that's okay. You know, they say you should approach life with like a can-do attitude, and maybe that's not how I want to approach this game when it comes to handicaps. So,
If you want, it's really easy. I just need it. Let me know.
He'll do it.
He
That's okay. I
sounds
already
like he'll do it.
So all of those handicaps that we went over in our last session, I think those would be ones that he would be able to apply to you guys. But it is possible that at the beginning or later, should they lose any strength, the Imperator will give a handicap to all nobles without an accompanying gift. A granted handicap must be approved by the Hollyhock God and cannot be removed except by expenditure of 25 dynasty points. And there can only be one such granted handicaps. So granting a handicap is not always a choice on the Imperator's part, as it often represents a basic weakness in the Imperator's own magics. The handicaps associated with a granted gift or handicap provide the normal miracle point benefit when appropriate. So if he's weak, the chinks in his armor could transfer to you guys, basically.
And we don't get the bonuses of the handicap.
And you don't get the bonuses thereof. It
Wait,
is
hang on.
just a hard negative trait for you guys.
So if Towen is not doing super great, he gives us more handicaps without the bonuses, but that has to be approved through the Hollyhock God.
Yes.
And you're Towen, right?
No, I'm the Hollyhock God.
Well, who's Towen?
Towen is an NPC just gonna be... that I will control, for I am the Hollyhock God.
Yeah, so you're controlling Towen and you're the Hollyhock. I'm sniffing something. It's a little fishy here, mister.
I'm not Towen. I'm not Towen. In the same way that I'm not Strahd in a game of Dungeons and Dragons, I'm just the DM that controls Strahd.
So you're taking the strategy that our 3-year-old does when he heard the F word at daycare and he came home and he's all, Robert said, and then he said the F word. And we're like, hey, dude. He's like, I didn't say it. Robert said it. But he uses that as an excuse to keep saying the F word. Yeah, that's you going,
if Towen is weak enough that you guys are getting handicaps, that's not my fault. That's Towen's fault, even though I get to... The handicaps you get are at my discretion. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be handing out blindness and deafness like they're fun coupons.
There's a lot happening in this game right now, chat. Also, I'm putting the words up for you, chat. So if you want to read some of it, this is what we're reading right now. Just one more, and I think you could still read it.
You guys, what did she put up?
I put up the PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just hard when you're listening to like follow what's actually happening.
No, it is a lot. It's a lot.
It just reminded me a little of when George would DM and he'd have like this character, and if we made him mad, he would lash out through us, like through that character a little bit, and then he'd be like, "I'm the GM, I'll allow it."
Happened once. Happened once. You guys set fire to an allied base. We're moving on. We're moving on. Demanding. Do I regret my actions? Yeah, a little bit. I do, for sure. Is it gonna happen again? I don't know. You guys gonna piss me off? Are you?
Maybe we're gonna burn the Allies' camp. Wait, I already live in hell, so it's already on fire.
Well, then we'll see what happens then when the next time you guys want to burn down a nice, peaceful group of people. So the next one is demanding. An Imperator who makes unreasonable demands. These Imperators are meddlesome wretches. Just right off the bat, we're not sugarcoating this at all. They're meddlesome wretches. Their powers have no peace. Their Imperator always piles one more problem on their heads. Not content with the destruction of the Excrucians' plans, they expect the PCs to deal with every conceivable adversary. Sounds like my job. And
Shots
make
fired.
a handful of utterly irrational demands as well. Breaking the fourth wall. As the well-executed trap closes on the Excrucian servants, as anchors with high-power machine guns step out to mow them down, the Imperator will cry, "I need captives." When the nettling of a dark Imperator's polluting chancel is nearly complete, and the alerted enemy is drawing in his powers to defend, the character's Imperator will cry, "I must witness this triumph. Hold them until I arrive." It is possible to combine this trait with either or both of the above Imperator properties, that referring to advising and prophetic, I believe. So, basically what that's saying is, so the big deal about that demand, "I need captives," okay, Excrucians can't really be taken captive. The book has been very clear about Excrucians. Nobles, even in groups, have a great deal of trouble taking down Excrucians. And most will not survive coming face to face with an Excrucian. And Imperators are not much better as far as that statistic goes. So when one is crying out, "I need captives," he's basically saying, my way or the dead way, homies.
You're the dead way.
Because that's really the only other option. There's no... Excrucians are, according to the book, insanely powerful.
I want to be one of those.
So, you want to be an Excrucian?
Now I do, if I'm powerful. I already live in hell. How much worse can it get?
Megan, send me a private chat when you get the chance, and we will discuss it.
Okay.
Laura and Bradley should be very scared. So that's demanding.
Demanding.
The next one, straightforward. These Imperators, straightforward Imperators, are the roots of the world. These Regi are so entwined with reality that they will not fall until the earth itself crumbles into the void. And there is always a sense around these... What in the world word is that? Are you guys looking at this word?
What page are you on?
This is page 147 in the bottom right corner. It is spelled Ymerae. There's always a sense around these Imerae.
Ymeria?
Wow, we
Sure,
both
we'll
said
go with
totally
that.
different words.
Yeah, we did. Is that Latin? It could be a silent Y, so it's like mere.
Imerae.
Imre.
I'm going to say Imerae. And
Okay.
the next time we convene, I will either check my accuracy on that, or I will brag about how I got it right off of a guess.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is always a sense around these Imerae that things are going according to plan, that everything is normal and as it ought to be. This much is a pleasant thing, but there is a dangerous side to it. The people and powers of Earth can understand the nobles of these Imerae very well. They will have an imperfect but generally accurate intuitive perception of how these sovereigns will behave. Random decisions and the general approach the characters take to problems will be open books. Excrucians are not of the earth. Like many of the wild, they lack this sense. Enemy powers, however, will have an important advantage while constructing their fiendish schemes. So you're predictable.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. It sounds pretty Straightforward.
Predictability is the name of the game. There, yeah, you got it. That's exactly why it's called straightforward. Because nail on the head.
Nail on the head.
So yeah, you're so predictable that any enemy nobles or enemy imperators will know almost exactly what you're going to do, just because they understand you so easily. It's like just knowing that Captain America is going to do the goody two-shoes thing, because that's just who he is. A goody two-shoes.
A goody two-shoes.
A muscular, handsome goody two-shoes.
He's pretty handsome.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said
it. Well said.
All right, moving on. We only got 4 more of these, so I hope I hope you guys are like keeping track of like which ones you might be interested in taking on, because so far none of these have been great.
Yeah, they sound like they're all going to set us up for failure, and we're going to have to find our way around it.
Yep.
Almost.
Yep, that's why they're all negatives.
Yup. All right. Degenerate. Degenerate Imperators are only a step away from excrucions. Destructive and unpleasant forces, these beings may even respect the excrusions cause. Ooh. The fundamental weakness in a degenerate imperator's nature, a susceptibility to corruption, makes its powers weak as well. They are particularly vulnerable to diabolic or excrucian deception. The exact application of this weakness is up to the Hollyhock God. Just one more way I can mess with you guys. The first and simplest manifestation of it is usually that divinations showing places and times where excrucions or excrucian shards have been shown exactly where the dark horsemen wish such scrying powers to see. Like nothing is easy to just write down in this book. It's like, oh man, I got to translate this now because it's so complicated and the sentences are such a weird structure.
Why do you think they write it so unapproachably? Like,
I can only guess because I've never read the first edition book, the original publication. I have no idea what the wording is like in that book, so I can only take the guess that this is actually kind of the not dumbed down, but the more easily understood version.
Oh dear.
Right? You know how editions tend to get more simple as they go on. So like first edition D&D was really just words and art where that made you go, "Oh wow, who did that?" And then 4th edition had basically evolved into just words and no real explanation. And now we have 5e, and when you're reading those books, there's explanation out the wazoo, and there's pictures and really good art, and they just kind of keep getting better with each edition. I feel like this might be the condensed version of these things, and I could be wrong, again, because I've never read it. But then the PDF that you sent out of 3E for Nobilis, you remember how it wasn't that many more pages, but there was so much more art to fill the pages.
That makes sense. And to make it more approachable.
They would have had to have dumbed it down, because there is no way that they are reaching maybe half of the words that are in 2E with all that art.
Wow, that's true.
I do think that 3E was the attempt to make it a lot more approachable and understandable. And I'm guessing because I didn't read 3E, because I didn't like the art. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. It's just everywhere in that book, and I didn't like it.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Plus, it's a very different system than the 2E.
Yeah, so I have been told by a Redditor that they like the rules in 3E more, but they did refer to second edition as the Great White Book, which I am assuming is a good thing. So
I've seen it called that several times as well when I've been Googling around.
okay, cool. So yeah. So basically, the Degenerate Imperators are the evil Imperator. I say evil, but really they're just incredibly corrupt. They seek power, they seek domination, even to the point where they may or may not side with the Excrucians, or even just sympathize with their side of the war. So serving one of those guys is going to be a little rough, maybe even for Tomo.
Yeah.
Oh, Tomo.
I mean, Tomo is the only one that has any like good code at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Did you guys read my code at all? Just curious.
I saw you picked other. I didn't actually read it.
I made it up.
I did.
Ooh.
I made it up, and I'm really proud of it.
Can I read it out loud?
And it makes sense to me. Yeah, you can read it.
Okay. Raven is an other code. Commandment 1. A tempest must be true to its nature. Its nature is pure force. Commandment 2. The only constant is change. Change is a force of nature. Commandment 3. All beings are ruled by will alone. Will is a tempest. Wow, you did that really well. They're all linked together. I love that. Thoughts in the chat? Thoughts in the stream?
Code of Storm.
Code of Storm.
Just completely making everything up at this point.
I think that looks. Yeah. It sounds good.
It does sound good.
Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
No more compliments, please.
There will be plenty more later.
Yeah, so I'll take them all after we finish building Towen. So the next one is Cold Imperators. Cold Imperators teach their powers nothing of the joys of service, only the terror of failure. They suffer as greatly as those who have been taught passion, but for them there is never a reprieve, never a moment of relief as they strike a blow. Their Imperator drives them relentlessly on. The player must pick an affiliation that their Imperator cares for, as above. Disservice to its code costs them 2 miracle points, and they will be drawn away very painfully. Service to this code, however, gives no benefit at all.
Yeah, sure. Do that one.
Okay. Oh, Calvin says, okay.
Just kidding.
He doesn't know what he's agreeing.
He's like, that one sounds nice.
So, pick an affiliation for their Imperator cares for. So the affiliation, I believe, is referring to the codes themselves. The codes of heaven, hell, light, dark, order, chaos, Aaron, other. But any disservice to any of those codes, if you do any work that is against those, your Imperator will lash out with a fury that will rival that one time I lashed out in D&D as a bad DM. So there you go. Are you guys still here?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
I'm chatting with my chat. I'm keeping them engaged.
Just so silent.
I think it's a little bit like, I think we're processing. So it's good that you're translating. But I think we're just processing as you're saying things like, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Your chat we got one person in the Discord chat. How's your chat? What are they talking about? Are they...
So when you were reading Cold, Aaron, that's sorry, it's just so funny. Aaron was like, my mom is a Cold Imperator. And I thought that was really funny, so I had to tell her it was great. She's funny.
That's a pretty good one. I sure wish that one was in the Discord.
Yes, we're talking about Aaron's mom. Yeah, I don't know if they can see the Discord link after, if I like send it and then they join after. So I'm going to resend it. But chat, gotcha. We opened a public Discord. So if you guys want to join our server, it's in the chat now and you can come hang out with us if you want. No pressure.
It will be monitored. So if you have any questions, eventually someone should answer it.
Yeah. So exciting.
Right.
Okay. Where are we at?
We are at Untalented. Untalented Imperators have, perhaps by virtue of their nature, a single important mortal skill that they could not learn even if they tried. Perhaps the Imperator of Horses simply can't drive, or the Lady of Blades can't use a gun. Similarly, their powers cannot use this skill at all. They are completely incompetent, and this property can only be taken for skills that the powers would very much like to have.
What's that last sentence? What does that mean?
So, let's say you guys are down on Earth during a story, and our Imperator Towen is untalented. He cannot drive an automobile and will never be able to drive an automobile. You guys cannot, no matter how hard you try, drive an automobile. So if anything happens where you guys need to drive an automobile, you better call an Uber.
Better call an Uber.
That's very relatable. I
like it. There was no there's no hesitation. Oh man. Sorry, man. Bradley.
Driving is rough, man. I kind of like the idea of this one. I think we should at least have this one on the table because we can make him really bad at something really goofy, and that could be really fun.
It would have to be something that would hinder you guys almost regularly, though. So, just you're inept at technology. You can't use phones if you're in the mortal world during the present. There's no way that you understand technology. Even like social skills, like that's a pretty fundamental skill like these days.
That's a fun one,
especially with like things like social media. Everything's social now. Everything. So when you guys walk into a place and somebody says, "Welcome to Walmart. What can I do for you?" You guys just completely shut down.
Just look at my feet, shuffle awkwardly.
Just keep shuffling. Just keep shuffling.
Yeah. So we can definitely keep Untalented on standby, but we would as a group need to decide what this skill is that the Imperator can't learn and how it would hinder you. That way we know for sure we're following the rule of this Untalented mastery.
The Imperator can't love. So secretly hates us all.
Well, that's kind of bad for Addie Civ.
A little bit.
That's Cold as well. That's the
one that's
where
true.
He just doesn't love you guys.
Yowza. Okay. All right. So Untalented on the table.
Untalented on the table. The next one is Corrupted. Mystery cults.
No, this one's fun.
Got thrown off. Corrupted mystery cults once served the Powers Imperator, but some great darkness turned them into the Excrucian's cause. The cult itself is only a small threat, but their attunement to their old Imperator allows for a larger evil. The very elements of being that the Imperator, and hence its powers, represent, have been tainted. The proximity of a cultist twists the power's own magics to serve the excrucions. Realm and domain miracles turn darker, and the chancel or estate works as much ill as it can within the requested miracle's boundaries. The cultists are invisible to these powers' divination miracles, although the foul track of cultists leave become visible within a few hours of their passage. The corrupted mystery cults are empowered and multitudinous at no extra cost, but these properties do the characters no good. So, your Imperator once led a group of powers that turned toward the excrusions cause, but they're still connected to the Imperator, and it's like having like a virus just outside a metaphorical back door to your computer, and they're just knocking. Like your computer is always at risk of being infected by this dark virus. Basically.
Okay, so real quick, this goes back a little bit. But Aaron said, untalented Imperator who has no concept of how sales tax works or tipping off the bill. Keeping that on the table, because I thought that was great.
Math?
I thought that was so funny.
So he doesn't know how to do math.
Math is hard. Awesome. Okay, so then Corrupted. I think that one's really interesting, but that also goes really well with like my hell thing, where I just think everything should be dark. So I'm intrigued by the Corrupted.
It'll also really hurt the others, like Addie, Civ, and Tomo.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
So like where you might be, ooh, darkness, they're gonna be like, ah, darkness.
That's true. We don't need you to be scared at home.
So I actually kind of like the concept of that one. I'm gonna put that one on the table.
I like it.
I think that one's fun.
Can we like change it so it's not as dark, or maybe we'll find one that's similar? But
I think that the amount of darkness that is caused and the amount of what did they say? The amount of foulness that happens when you use your miracles. I think that might be up to the Hollyhock God's discretion.
Oh, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
Hollyhock God. I just love that. I just think it's so funny.
Yeah, I had no idea why they called it a Hollyhock God. And so I had to look up what hollyhock was. It's a flower.
Yeah. So
I this whole time thought you were saying Hollyhock God.
No.
I even spelled it that way in my chat, and now
that's why I commented on it.
That makes sense. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He is pretty cute, guys. He is pretty cute.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Everything makes sense now.
My wife flirting with me over Twitch.
Your wife is awfully pretty. You're lucky.
Oh, are you kidding? Of course she's pretty. Of course I'm lucky. We could talk about how unrealistically lucky I've been. But it would take the rest of this stream, so we're not going to. We're gonna.
Our Imperator must come to life.
We have two more. We have two more to go through.
Okay.
This one is disrespectful. And disrespectful Imperators find their powers very small and puny beings indeed. They may have been considered unfit for the simple tasks almost all powers perform, guarding chancel and estate. If no power in the Imperator's Familia has high realm, the powers may be considered as high servants there, under an otherwise mortal king with the gift sacrosanct. Sacrosanct?
No, I think sacrosanct is the right word.
Sacrosanct? If some power has a high realm, they might rule the chancel, save that a senate can overrule their decisions. The Imperator will, at the very least, watch its powers when they go out to deal with threats to their estate. Watch, that is, with scorn and bitter words spilled into the powers' minds about how much better they could be handling things. Should the powers ever fail, they may be put to work on the most menial tasks, or even punished, beaten, branded, starved, or imprisoned for not being sufficient in their tasks. And the Hollyhock God is invited to be as cruel as he desires.
Oh, boy.
The book literally says that. That is not something that I made up.
It does say that.
It says that. Oh, everybody's going to get some cruel shoes.
Some cruel shoes.
That one's kind of funny. Like, could you imagine, like, you're in mid-combat with an excrucian, you land a great punch, and just, like, in the back of your mind, you hear your Imperator go, that wasn't that great of a left hook. You missed so much stronger.
Should have swept the leg.
Yeah, you should have swept the leg. You should have lifted more. You should have had that creatine before your last workout.
I mean, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
I like it.
I think it's funny. The last one under warding. Bright warning. Bright warnings are set on powers meant to stand at the forefront of the war. No protection is given them. Their naked strength is all that stands between them and the excrucians. Their presence is like a shout. Excrucians and excrucian shards within half a mile of these powers will feel that presence, and they know that they are called to war. The next move is for the Dark Horsemen to make. So basically, if you choose this one, you guys are at high aggro like the whole time.
Like
you just
Super
draw
Saiyan?
Fire. You guys could be walking down the street, and a block away could be an excrucian, and they're gonna know you're there, and they're gonna beeline it straight for you.
Don't know that benefits any of us.
Yeah, that sounds like
it does. It benefits you. It gives you guys a point.
Yeah, it does give us a point.
It gives you guys a point to use.
All right, so I'm currently totally fine with disrespectful, untalented. Corrupted sounds like it would be a pain for Tomo, so I'm probably going to say no for corrupted.
I like corrupted. I'm going to vote for everything Bradley just said, but especially corrupted.
The thing is with corrupted, Tomo needs his people to like him. So if he has cultists amongst his well-loved citizens, it's going to be really hard for him to deal with.
So the cultists don't even necessarily have to be among the Chancel citizens.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't really mind.
Yeah, because the cultists have turned to the excrucian side, they're gone. Maybe they left one or two within the Chancel as kind of like just like, you know, sleeper cells. Maybe, I don't know. But for the most part, they're gone. They just maintain their connection to the Imperator, which makes him it's a liability for him, and his liabilities are your liabilities. So
I'm partial to disrespectful and untalented. I think untalented could be goofy and fun.
I mean, I like the idea that I think you said the name was Aaron.
Aaron.
Said, yeah. Just we don't know math at all. That's definitely a fundamental skill.
It really is. She's pretty smart, for sure. Good job, Aaron.
So I'm just going to put a placeholder in...
it's actually in properties, not handicaps.
Oh, I just didn't scroll far enough. And that cost gives you guys, is it -1?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and some of these do cost 2. So if we want like good bonuses, we might need to take 2 negatives.
Yeah, like Great Harvest costs 2 points. Transcendent costs 2 points. So really, like it is kind of a bummer, but the more handicaps you guys take for your Imperator, the more bonuses you can buy for your Imperator. So that really kind of leaves it up to like how much of a give and take do you guys actually want to balance out with this?
Bradley, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with disrespectful as long as Laura's good with it too.
Hey guys, I've been popping in and out. I'm so sorry. Okay, so you're going between. So I heard everything about the math. That's hilarious. But what was the last thing you said, Bradley?
Talking about also having the Imperator also being disrespectful.
Oh, just like cut down our self-esteem every time we play, because that sounds like a great Sunday night.
I mean, it depends how mean. I mean, the book specifically stated, what was it exactly?
Let me pull that back up.
For which one? Disrespectful?
For disrespectful, the Holy God is invited to be as cruel as desired.
So what if we got one that didn't desire it at all? Like, that could be okay.
That could be okay.
All right, you're kicked out, George.
What?
I like that we kicked out George. It's like, wait, what? Not? That was awfully disrespectful of us. LOL.
I mean, that's fine. I guess Bradley will just have to HG for this. Good luck playing all of those NPCs, Bradley.
Oh no.
Yep.
I'll send you the notes that I have for the first games.
Well, that was nice of you.
But important question: if he does that, would Bradley use his voice that he does when he plays RPG NPCs?
Yes, that would be the Imperator's voice. Now I would repurpose it.
I need a preview. What would it be?
What are you guys doing? You should have swept the leg.
Yes.
I just love you. Mr. Breadman from Shrek voice. It's my favorite.
Oh my god, that's great. George, we would never think of exiling you. No, you're in this with us forever and ever and ever.
After hearing that, I think Bradley should HG, and I think that's exactly what the Imperator needs to sound like, because now it doesn't seem so bad.
No, no. He can be as mean as he wants. I'm fine with it.
You're all horrible at everything that you do. Oh, Imperator.
Oh, you. So our Imperator is definitely not cold. So that's good.
So he could be cold. It'll give you guys a new point, and it actually kind of does go with the disrespectful.
Yeah, but wouldn't that one harm? Was it Laura's character?
Well, we would need to take another code, and then it depends which code we take. It could
Yeah.
it could really be hard for us to do both of our codes at the same time.
Fair.
Yeah. So that's going to be the hardest part, I think, is balancing two codes. So a lot of Imperators will give you guys a little bit of room to practice your own codes, so long as you're not, how do I put this nicely? So long as you're not a bunch of a-holes. So, like, if, Megan, you said your code was for hell?
Yeah.
All right, so you have the hell code, which is corruption, suffering, and power. But if this Imperator has a code of light, which focuses much more on humanity and protection, if you're using your code that kind of works with that a little bit, he'll, depending on how effective you are, he might let you get away with some stuff, right? But if you're going cold, like cold, this guy is not gonna give you any leeway. And with that, you have the disadvantage of balancing those two codes, where sometimes you'll be given a choice, yours or theirs.
That's a lot to digest on 2 hours of sleep, gonna be honest.
Yep.
Thoughts from the group?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be really hard to do. I mean, it's already going to be hard for our group to have heaven, hell, and chaos as codes that we all try to have to follow. Trying to follow another fourth one will be really hard.
Yeah, we should not do that.
Especially when that fourth one is governing the three separate codes that you guys have. So I think it would add, personally, I think it would add a very cool kind of struggle for you guys on like every chance that I get, really, will be adding just a little bit of struggle for you guys to keep to the codes. But then that's just me, and I like struggle. I like difficulty.
Yes.
Why I play a cleric that doesn't do any healing in D&D.
Have we thought about the love part? The love property?
That's cold.
Oh my goodness, I understand. I see them together now.
Yeah. So those are just the like the headings. And then below those headings are fervent, passionate, and cold, which is like complete adoration and oh, you guys are best friends and get your effing hands off me. It's like the three levels, really.
So funny. Okay. I'm going back and reading some of them because I have to remember from all that time ago. I do enjoy the line, some say the entire universe is maintained by the tension between hell and heaven. If so, everything has become measure of both beauty and corruption. I do enjoy that sentence. It has nothing to do with the way I'm leaning. I just want you guys to know that I like that sentence.
Where is that sentence?
It's under integrity.
Well, I don't know what integrity is, as I have none.
As I have none. It sounds like neither does our Imperator, so.
Well, is he a degenerate?
I mean, we can give him a degeneracy, yeah.
We can give him degeneracy.
What is Laura's thoughts and Bradley's thoughts? I just liked the sentence. That's as far as I had gotten for that one.
Which section of integrity was it? Was it under honorable, principled, or degenerate?
Oh, none. It was under the introduction to integrity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the second one. The second sentence.
I don't know how I feel about having an Imperator that's only a step from excruciant.
I think that also adds a fun struggle for you guys. You know, just like typical season 1 stuff. Oh, another episode of us trying to keep our Imperator back from the brink of excrucianity.
Excrucianity.
It's a word. Just made
it
up.
is.
It is now.
You know what? Some of the words in this book are made up, so I say anything goes.
Yeah, integrity.
Like that one. See. Bradley, is there one you're leaning towards at all?
I mean, degeneracy and straightforward both. I mean, that seems really weird. A straightforward degenerate. There we go. He's also disrespectful and untalented.
He's such a degenerate that people know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be disrespectful and he's going to not be able to do math.
I mean, that is true. It is predictable if you can't learn math that you're not going to know math.
Right?
And you'd be pretty degenerate to not know how to do math.
That's true.
It's like, my lord, there's an army at our gates. Well, how many? At
they are
least
out there.
12. You know, looking out at the vast army.
Yep.
That's marching.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is at least 12.
It's at least 12. And if we kill half of them, how many's that?
25.
At least half of 12.
Ooh.
Now, I'm just going to do this and somebody stop me.
Shenanigans are about to happen. I can feel it. 11T. Yes, that's it. Oh my gosh, I love that. Aaron's like, I feel like if you have the Holly Hot God, because now I've started Holly Hot God, and they're like a Hell Imperator. That's like the best version of hell you could hope for, right? Aaron, she gets me. We're the same. Oh man, that's funny.
Just because those are the
straightforward
ones
and
talked about most. If anybody here is a Letterkenny fan, there's your reference for this. If nobody here is a Letterkenny fan, why? It's great. Go watch it, please.
I'll just smile and wave, okay?
Have you watched it, Bradley?
I have not.
Okay, I've tried.
It is.
And I can't.
So funny. It's so funny. And I've rewatched that show so many times, and it's never not funny. Except for the episode called Fart Book. That one gets old.
Sounds like it would.
Yeah, it smells like it would. It's still a good episode because it's Letterkenny, but it's definitely like the down at the bottom of their list. Is anybody in Discord chiming in on Letterkenny? No, nobody on Discord is chiming in on. That's fine. I didn't want to be here to talk with people anyway.
I think just none of us know about Letterkenny.
It's so good. Oh man, I gotta find somebody to talk to about Letterkenny fast because I'm starting.
What makes it good?
It's okay. So you know how you and my wife love Gilmore Girls?
Oh yes.
And it's because they're clever and talk fast, and everything is funny.
Okay.
Okay. So take Gilmore Girls and turn everybody into small town Canadian farmers who swear and cuss and drink and fight and drink. and like
And
hockey.
apparently fart.
And well, those are the skids, and they don't really. Well, I guess and Squirrely Dan, but he's squirrely, so that's kind of his excuse. And it's just so much fun. Like if I could pick out like 3 of my favorite episodes and then just have you go watch them to see what you thought, I would.
Drop your 3 favorite episodes in the chat.
You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to go rewatch this entire series. Oh no!
Oh no! I'm so sorry, Addie.
It's
Civ.
It's so hard to pick favorites. It really is. Spelling Bee is a really good one. Super Soft Birthday Party is a really good one. There's a Halloween one where they think something is possessing the bar and they start bringing people in to try and like hunt the ghost or give explanations. That one's good. Talent Show is great. There's so many.
Hi, Jordy. Welcome to the chat. We're talking. Oh, you know what? Jordy is probably the one. Oh, I'm sorry. I definitely like doxed you. I'm sorry, Jordy. But also, have you seen what is it called? Letterkenny. Letterkenny. Sorry, my nasal passages don't like the T's. We'll see if he has seen it. Because if there's someone who has that kind of sense of humor, I think Jordy would. We went. You might know Jordy.
I don't know.
Right. Anyways, we'll see if he responds in the chat. Because if anybody in my chat has seen it, it might be. Okay, so he has seen it, but he hasn't sat down enough to watch it, like, enough.
Oh, you're messing up.
But he loves the clips. He said, I've seen a lot of clips. It's good. So you have a supporter. You have one. Jordy, it's a good thing you jumped in here, man.
It's good to know that I'm not the only person that's not a degen from upcountry.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are like, we're chaos, light, and darkness, and we want an Imperator that can't do math. So that's the leg we have to stand on. Well, John loves Letterkenny, so you got 2 followers.
Cool.
Of the show.
Hey, they should become followers of my Twitch.
There you go. Faceless on Twitch, y'all.
Just shameless plugs right there.
Right there.
If I can get at least 1 follower out of each and every stream, I'll be happy.
I just need 5 more to hit affiliate.
We'll get you there. Anyway. So those are the handicaps. Those 4 that we have been talking about most. Untalented, disrespectful, degenerate, and straightforward. Are there any others that you guys want, or is there 1 or 2 of these that I should take away?
I think I'm fine with all 4 of those.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as we're untalented in math and not suddenly untalented in like guns or something.
Yeah, something we actually need.
Well, I mean, we need math.
Math is definitely the decision on that one. You guys can't do math.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw math at you guys as often as possible just to really milk this thing. Not because I want to give you a hard time, because I want to see what kind of opportunity this untalented trait gives us.
Okay, so throwback real quick. When we have a really difficult math like session, we should just package it up into like a little like readable disc, because I don't know what she has, and send it to Miss Jensen, our math teacher from high school. And I think she would think that's hilarious, because she'll be like, math is great. What the heck? Anyways, I don't know if you had Miss Jensen. Based on your silence, I'm assuming you did not.
I did not.
Oh, sad. She was great.
I had a Mr. Jensen for history, and he was a bore.
Oh, Jordy knows Miss Jensen.
So, with those handicaps, we have 4 Imperator points to spend, on the positive traits for
positive
the Imperator. So some of these cost 1, some of them cost 2. So you can get 4 1s, you can get 2 2s, you can get 2 1s and 1 2.
I feel like I'm in a Dr. Seuss book right now, and I'm loving every second of it.
And if I were clever enough to come up with a Seussical rhyme right off the bat, I'd be doing that. End sentence.
I love it. So the positive ones? What are our options?
Hold on, I'm going to have to go... I'm going to go see if I can help out the wife real quick.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
The kid is being crazy. I still only have one viewer. It's Bradley. Thanks, Bradley. So I don't feel
Bradley.
too bad about it. I'll be back.
Bradley and I will entertain the chat. All right, chat.
Oh,
actually, what we should do is show chat. Oh, Meg Crew for life. Yes, please. Let's show chat. Bradley, do you have any favorite photos in the second or third versions? I'm going to show chat the pictures.
Oh, no. I thought that I remember.
Like off the top of your head.
Yeah, no. I haven't looked through all of the third edition.
So this one I think is really pretty. It's of some sort of dancer. I don't know what she's doing here, but she's pretty. These are more realistic. I should pull up. I wonder.
The anime one?
I should pull up the anime one. I just don't want to pull up my personal information on stream and then
yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I wonder if
anime?
I downloaded it.
What?
We were talking about how mine is more anime because I was walking the chat through the pictures and stuff.
There are a couple really cool ones in there that I liked, but everything just seems so childlike.
Yes, it is very childlike.
And I like that, though. I thought that was playful.
Well, so this is a game where in order to create a chancel, you have to murder somebody, one person per night for 100 nights in a row.
But if we're not talking to our Imperator, we know that's only 100 souls. But if we're talking to our Imperator, we don't know how many souls that is. Because he's bad at math. Thank you for the laugh. Man, oh man. Well, I'm just going to walk you guys through this one. Or George, are you back?
I'm back.
Oh, good. Welcome back. I stopped on a girl with a son behind her and leaves. She seems nice.
What's her name?
I don't know. I know how to find the names in my version, but I don't know how to find the names in this version.
It's Brian Talbot. Can't you read?
Well, no. I think that's my untalent.
No, it was this.
Oh, there it is. By Brian Talbot. I was like, what? Actually, that was really clever. Good job.
Good old Bradley.
He outsmarts me, which makes him intriguing. Hey, look, it's me and Bradley in one photo.
I can't see Megan's stream.
Oh, so sad. It's a picture of light. Yeah, it's heaven and hell, like next to each other.
Light and dark are two different options. So, I mean, to be fair.
That's true.
Let me see if I can get...
They are like tarot cards, Aaron. That is very true.
Another window here.
This one's more comic booky than the others are. Some of them are really racy, so I have to be really careful with what I'm scrolling through right now. Because there are a couple where I was like, oh, that's not something I can show on stream. I think this one's really dope. This one is an excrucian, I think.
Is that a gun or a blade?
Hold on.
I think it's a blade. I think I'm on page 209. Man, he looks cool. I want his outfit. This could be this book's version of Lord Entropy. He looks like he doesn't believe in love. That's because he hasn't met me yet. It's fine.
Are you gonna get him to believe in love?
I am. I'm gonna sing like "Don't you want to know what love is" instead of "I want to know what love is."
All right. Well, before you do anything, let me call the Hallmark Channel.
Even in hell, you can find love.
Make sure that they can get some cameras down here.
Ooh, yes, he does have Hellraiser vibes. I'm sorry, I totally stole the stream. We can totally do whatever we need to be doing.
Yeah, that could be entropy or an excrucian. I don't know. I think at this point I have too many windows open, so I'm going to go ahead and close it because everything's super slow for me now. But if we're gonna keep working on your Imperator properties,
yes.
So you guys have 4 points to spend. 4 points to spend. I got to get back to the top because I scrolled so far down.
Yeah, what page are we on?
Now we are on, boom, 144.
Oh, he's sad boy, guys. Sad boy. Edward Happy Hands post Meg. Bringing joy to even the saddest near you. Like this boy right here.
All right, so the harvests are pretty straightforward. They're just like investments, basically.
Mm-hmm. So that just gets you dynasty points.
Yeah, and you can actually...
Go ahead, Bradley.
Yeah, basically, you can change one dynasty point, one Imperator point for 25 dynasty points, but you can also do the reverse too. So like, they could eventually pay themselves off if we play enough. And then dynasty points can also, we can like take dynasty points and we can turn them into miracle points for ourselves if we really need miracles, basically.
Oh, that's cool. How many dynasty points per miracle, or does it depend on what miracle we need?
It's 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
And then if we move on to empathy, clear-sighted gives powers wisdom, sympathetic gives powers empathy. So, clear-sighted imperators perfectly assess the fundamental balances of the world, and they know instantly the pains and joys and strengths and weaknesses of those they meet. This would be an advantage to their powers, even if they had no other effect. A clear-sighted imperator rarely sets its nobles to tasks beyond their capabilities. So this person just has really, really good insight about the situation of things.
I'm not going to lie, I do like that one.
I'd like that as Tomo a lot.
Yeah.
I think we should at least put that one on the table.
All right, clear-sighted. And then there's also sympathetic. I don't think we can really go sympathetic since we're doing disrespectful. I feel like disrespectful.
No, go ahead and read it.
should I read it?
Yeah. Oh, no,
Yeah,
sorry. No.
It.
I was reading Cruel. Sorry, never mind.
Okay. Yeah, sympathetic imperators feel the pains and joys of others as easily as their own. The Regi practice mastery of the self and mastery of emotions and excel at it to a degree no mortal can imagine. According to these pains and joys do not necessarily move them to action, but at least the Regi will never throw the lives of their soldiers away uncaringly or unknowingly. And I guess that kind of goes against Degenerate as well.
Yeah. I could see that.
Like, just because of the corruption thing. So, clear-sighted, I could see clear-sighted being alright. Because you can be clear-sighted but still an a-hole.
Agreed. I like the idea of clear-sighted. I really do.
So let's keep clear-sighted marked. And then the next one is... I do not know what that word is. Gallied? Gallied. Gallied?
Sure, sounds good.
Gallied.
Gallied?
Inspiration.
It sounds Irish or Celtic.
Maybe it is. Oh, it's the name of a power whose name is synonymous with service.
Oh.
Yeah. Like Galahad. I'm just going to say it's Galahad because I can say that.
Oh, wait.
What is Galahad?
Galahad is one of the Knights of the Round Table.
Oh.
Yeah. So...
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm going to go off topic. I'm tucking that away. I have a conversation that I want to ask you about based on that, but it has to do with the Knights of the Round Table, nothing to do with this.
All right.
Moving forward.
I am in so much suspense now. Moving forward. Inspirational imperators are pure and shining examples to their powers. When they deal with their nobles, they wear a divine glory that inspires and cleanses the heart of fear. Even the anchors who taste their imperator's presence from one step removed are nearly immune to hesitation and doubt. These powers can lose everything, and they will grieve, but there is a strength of service in them that dominates. They lose nothing, no true piece of their self, when anything less than their imperator is taken away from them. Thus they are proof against the nettle right.
The nettle right is basically when someone tries to screw with your bonds.
Yeah. The thing is, can you be inspirational and disrespectful? Man, you guys suck at this. I know you can do better, though. Keep trying, idiots.
I mean, for someone who has like my kind of background, disrespectful could be how I communicate love because of how I perceive the world. It's kind of like some girls like it when guys call them losers and some girls get really mad and dump them. It's kind of the same thing. So you can be disrespectful and inspirational. I just don't know that the codes that we have on our team would be likely to interpret it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that moves us on to Transcendent. These imperators are beyond divine glory. The simple splendor of their presence breeds an extravagant loyalty to Imperator and to creation. Their nobles have all of the above benefits and more, for the powers of Transcendent Imperators are nearly impossible to kill. The commitment to existence that grows in their hearts enables them to cling to life and victory against even the most impossible odds. Nobles never ask their Imperator for gifts. Sometimes, however, at the player's decision, with an expenditure of Imperator points, they receive them. So for this, you guys would be the living examples of all that is just in the fight to preserve existence. And that's another thing that degeneracy is going to kind of maybe.
I mean, degeneracy is against honorable and principled because I mean that's an integrity thing. Because like we don't have unshining.
But if they're vulnerable to corruption, unless I'm thinking of a different one, because corruption, they could be like on the verge of becoming an excrucian.
Yeah, I mean that you're no corrupted is for the. Oh no, that's for the cult. Which one's the?
Oh, that's the cult one. Sorry. I do think it's degenerate though, where the Imperator would be like on the edge.
Yes, that is it. Imperators are only a step up from excrucians in Degenerate.
Yeah, so that one, the getting all kinds of lost on here now. That one, for Transcendent, you can either be a degenerate and be one step above excrucian, or you could be clinging to life and victory against the most impossible odds and be a shining example of those that are fighting for existence. But I don't feel like the line between the two is very thin. So I don't think Transcendent would really apply.
I think that I think if we're stretching it that hard now, when we're in the actual game, it might be a little complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like all these are related if you're going to stretch it that way. Because like I mean, all these are kind of related that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you can see about gifts. Miraculous abilities not provided by a power's attribute. Each gift has a cost in character points. An Imperator can grant to all of its nobles a 1-point gift, and this will be the same gift to each, and it comes at the cost of a 1 to 2 point mystic handicap chosen by the Hollyhock god. So whenever a power chooses to accept such a gift, they also incur the handicap.
So you get something bad and also good at the cost of a Imperator point? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but you'd all get it.
And a handicap.
And a handicap. You'd take a good and a bad as a group.
At the cost of a point.
At the cost of a point.
Gifts. The word gift is used a lot. What page is the one we're reading on?
Ooh. So the one that we're on right now is 146, but all of the gifts are listed. Let me see if I can find it.
That's okay. You answered my question. I was trying to find where we were reading. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I'll just type in the word gift. And I was like going towards page 200. And I was like, this is wrong.
114 is the list of gifts.
Okay. Kind of like the idea of the gift one.
I do not.
Okay, not that one. If Bradley says no, I trust Bradley.
Well, how about I go trade out with Laura and you guys can talk about gifts.
All right.
Quick. I'm just gonna go get the kid down because I promised I'd do that.
Yeah, the gift one sounds cool, but the thing is, like, you get a 1-point gift and then you also get a handicap. So, and it still costs us a point. So, like, we're getting another negative, and it costs one of our things that we took a negative for. So I mean, we could get it, but it just seems like we took negatives to get more negatives.
Okay, so now that George is not here to progress the game, like to explain forward past this point, I think that we have come to a moment where I don't think I understand the point system. And I think this points out that I don't understand the point system. So we get a certain amount of points from what I understand.
So for yes. The Imperator, we actually start at 0. Okay. But then you go into you can go negative, but you can't go positive. So currently you can see right here we have a remaining of -4. Mm-hmm. That's because we took 4 bad things. However, now that we have -4, that means we could spend 4 points to get actually good benefits here.
Okay, that makes sense. That is where I got lost the first time. Yeah,
and so when it comes to gift, it costs 1 point, but we also take a handicap. So like oops, let me do that. But so that's basically like we're everyone's getting a bonus, but then also everyone's getting a -2, but it costs something that we already took a -4. So basically we get 2 negatives for 1 positive versus getting, like if we got something else for... Yeah.
No, I think you make a good point, because there's no reason to harm us if we don't have to. Like if we could benefit for something else greater, the opportunity cost is doing the greater thing.
Yeah, and I mean, the 1 point gifts could be pretty good, but like most of them, it'd be kind of limited to like what something we all could use that is a 1 point gift.
Okay. Okay. Is Laura here? Or are we still on George's?
Laura's not even in the Discord.
Okay. I wasn't sure if she was going to go sit on George's microphone or not, so...
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't excluding her if she had opinions, but...
Yeah, I mean, my stream's a little bit behind, but she's currently not sitting at his desk.
Okay.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
But I hear his voice.
I'm back, and I caught a little bit of it, and the point system is only complicated because of the trait that our Imperator has that makes it difficult for Megan to understand numbers.
There we go. Perfect.
That's what it is. Yes. So that was funny. I was like, okay, we're at a good stopping point to where I'm going to ask this question. And it's not going to hinder like this stream.
So, and that's the downside of this book. As much as I really like the idea of this game, even just when reading the book and you're looking at like right now, looking at empathy, clear-sighted is 1, sympathetic is 1, cruel is -1. So it's like, it seems as though that -1 is like, oh, it costs you a point, but really it's giving you a point. But it doesn't, like if we were to scroll up, it doesn't tell you exactly at the beginning of this chapter how to read those tables. So the point system is kind of confusing unless we have a person like Bradley in our group who can put it into terms that we understand. I rely greatly on Bradley. He just doesn't know it. And don't tell him, he'll get a big head. So, but I was 100% with you. Like when I first read this book, the point system was very foreign to me. So, we're all learning.
We're all learning.
So, what did I miss? Where are we?
Oh, nothing.
We
you
were
just missed
talking
the
about
point
points.
system. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pass over gifts then. Unless Megan was somehow able to convince Bradley to take gifts.
No, now that I understand the point system, I also do not want gifts. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I guess we do need math.
So, prophetic imperators give their powers the benefit of their oracular foresight. They're uncertain seers at best, since imperators have a different understanding of time. Even powers who can scry the future themselves foggily do not really understand the way imperators perceive it. The imperator's words and visions, of course, should be kept in mind. And the Hollyhock God creates the imperator's prophecies in either of two ways. First, they can predict what is coming based on the Hollyhock God's thorough understanding of the game. Thorough. Game world and their ability to subtly steer the storyline. They then couch the results in riddles to share with the players. Second, they can create a strange and obscure prophecy as possible. Then, when a player or their character convincingly reasons out what the prophecy is telling them to do and does it, the Hollyhock God can go a little easier on the powers for a bit. So this is fun because it's like always having a hook, right? You always have a story because your imperator will always be like, "Ooh, a prophecy! Foresee do I a fish head amongst a crown of thorns worn by a goat." All right, now you guys have to solve that.
I'm bad at math.
So, good thing I didn't throw out numbers.
Yeah.
Fish head did not equal X.
Please find L. Well, what?
How about no?
I see your L and I give you an N and an O.
So then, next to prophetic, we have advising, and these imperators are always available to hear their powers' concerns. They might even suggest ways to handle them, although they don't have much of their attention focused on Earth, and so they do make mistakes. Imperators who guide their nobles integrate a portion of their perspective into the power's souls. And when a power is about to do something that seems to the Hollyhock God, who knows the most about the game world, again, to be against common sense in that world, the Hollyhock God can warn the power's player. The Hollyhock God does not need to give this warning every time, and the players do not need to revise their actions once warned. Still, the Imperator property helps keep the HG's and the player's perception of how the world works aligned. This does not include and is not included in the above property, but they can be purchased together. Prophetic and advising. So it's like you always have like the angel on your left shoulder being like, "Oh, hey man, that's a good idea," or "Oh, don't do that."
But sometimes they're wrong because they're not interested in humans.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a whole other myriad of planets out and among the world, Ash. So Earth being only one of those planets, their attention's going to be a little elsewhere.
Yeah.
Earth is just probably the most interesting one. So say I, the Hollyhock God.
Bradley, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they are very basic. I'm going to say that.
I like the idea of prophetic because I feel like it adds little riddles. But then again, that probably just comes from my experience with Dungeons and Dragons, where I like throwing out riddles. I
think that could be fun.
Yeah. it could be pretty fun. And I guess maybe advising would be... No, I don't think advising would really go against any of the other properties that we have right now. So advising would also work. If you guys wanted. But I'll keep reading.
I like that.
Unfathomable. This one is a 2-pointer. Unfathomable imperators are unpredictable, deadly, and contemptuous of lesser beings. Oh. Other Imere may understand them as well as sane humans understand the deeply insane, well enough to forge an alliance, but not much more. Unfathomable imperators offer the same benefits as soul-twisted imperators, plus one additional benefit. Attempts to describe the imperator's nobles fail.
Yeah, I mean, so so this one we definitely can't choose because this is opposite of straightforward.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So the opposites are very easily noted with each of the headings. So if we have the negative from any of the headings, it's probably easy to just skip that one.
Oh,
gotcha.
That makes sense.
So we should probably also skip integrity, because if you're a DJ, you're not principled and honored. We can read about cold or love. We can read about love because we don't have cold on our list.
I like it.
So there is passionate. Imperators have opened the gates of their selves somewhat, and they let their zeal for their cause trickle down to their powers. This is no blessing. These powers are haunted by the needs of an imperfect universe. But there is an advantage still mixed with the pain. Each of their powers may pick an affiliation their imperator cares for in addition to their own personal affiliation. Service to this affiliation gives the power a miracle point. Disservice racks them with guilt, but costs them nothing. And if the power's 2 affiliations are the same code, they gain 2 miracle points for serving it and lose only 1 for disservice. So with this, it actually gives you guys another code to follow. Oh, we didn't choose that one, did we? Dang it. That's right. I remember that one.
Would have Megan a major power boost too?
What's that?
Would have that... I'm so sorry. I can't talk today, guys. Would that have given Megan a major power boost since she is infection and we decided passion was one of her... I think she said it was one of her bonds, and it was also part of her estate.
Oh.
It would give her a bonus if Towen's code was also hell.
Gotcha.
But we have not actually chosen Towen's code, so the bonus has yet to be decided.
It feels like a competition, I hear.
Yeah. Which really is just going to be you guys being like, George, please pick this code for Towen. And me being like, ha ha ha, state your case.
Tell me your understanding of this game. Whoever wins, Bradley, gets to choose the code.
All right, and then beyond passionate, there is fervent. This one is also a 2-pointer. And fervent imperators pour their passions into their highest servants like torrential rain. There is no escape from it. Their powers awaken in cold sweats from horrid nightmares about the state of the world and its disservice to their imperator's code. They do not lose their moral personality or their essential human nature, since powers who let these things fade generally lose their minds soon after. Still, the guilt for a violation of their code bites. As above, each character can pick a second affiliation, and this can be the same as the first. Now, though, the new affiliation is much stronger. High service to this affiliation gives 4 miracle points, and disservice is 2. And if the 2 codes are the same, the power gains 5 miracle points for high service and loses 3 for disservice. So,
did anyone else relate too hard to that? I'm just asking for fervent. The waking up in cold sweats, having the guilt. Like, I don't know if I want to put that into like a role playing game.
Slowly dying.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't like 3E, because all the art is very like happy and flowy and very colorful. And then you read stuff like this and it's like this world is a massive downer.
It is.
There is no like happy fun times. Like almost no matter what you choose, there is a huge downturn that is somehow related to it. So, but again, that's just me. Passionate and fervent. Do you guys like either of those?
It sounds like they're both off the table between Bradley and Laura.
I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, we could take another so we could take passionate because like we would be very guilty for not serving our Imperator's code, unlike cold or fervent, where we would be punished severely. I mean, regardless, we would not be able to sleep, which doesn't sound very fun.
Yeah.
But it also depends what code we pick for.
I'm not particularly like attached to either one of these.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're skipping over mastery because we have untalented.
So this one you can get a different one because you can be untalented in one skill and talented in another.
Oh, so that thing Bradley advised us on was also false. Come on, Bradley.
Correct.
So we could be bad at math, but really good at counting pi.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen The Office?
Well, wait.
I don't think we can be good at counting anything, but I've seen The Office.
There's that episode where Kevin, the accountant, is doing math because he puts everything in value as pies.
Yep.
He's like, if there's 16 of us and we get there and there's like 400 pies, how many of us do we get? And he does like the math to the decimal in seconds. He's like, oh, we each get 53.2 pies. And then they're like, okay, what if it were salads? And he goes, no, that doesn't track.
That doesn't track. Oh, Kevin. Oh, he's so funny.
Kevin's one of the best.
One of the best. Going back to it, we could be bad at math, but really good at like English.
Or swimming or jumping or something. I don't know. Anything, yeah.
Or
anything that doesn't involve counting.
Yeah. CQC.
It is really hard not to talk over people in this game. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm going to solve that one right now by just talking over everybody no matter what.
Yes.
So, Scholarly will let you guys choose a skill to master. And then Polished, you still master one skill, but your aspect will be increased by 2 anytime you are using this particular skill. And aspect, if we remember from creating characters, that is the physical attribute for each power. So it's based on like how a person is physically and mentally. It's their physical state. There's no one there, and I'm now talking to myself. I am the greatest.
Yep.
You're doing great.
Ah! They're still there. Oh, no.
Okay, so a mortal would respect us more because we have that skill. And if they have that skill too, they're like, oh, I respect you.
Oh yeah, like if you decide your skill is karate and you enter a karate tournament and you just flawlessly start sweeping legs and taking names, putting them in body bags, then they would be like, "Oh wow, that's super impressive."
I like this one personally.
Polished?
Yeah, I just don't know what skill it would be best to pick.
We can think about it. Would you guys go with polished or scholarly?
Which one is polished?
Polished is the one where it gives you the +2 aspect with that skill. Excuse me, with that skill. So, just like again, if let's say you have an aspect of, let's just pull up Annihilate real quick. Annihilate has an aspect of 2. So her level her physical level is legendary. She is legendary. But if she took the polished aspect or the polished trait, and you guys chose the skill of melee combat or hand-to-hand combat, anytime you were using that skill, instead of 2, your aspect would be 4. Oops. And you wouldn't be legendary, you would be celestial.
Ooh, I like the way that sounds.
So it's totally up to you guys what that skill would be. But you would have to make sure that it's something that you guys might use regularly so that you're constantly getting that +2 aspect bonus.
Man, I really wish I understood how to play this game more in depth, because then I would know better how to choose a skill. Do you have any skills off the top of your head, Bradley, that you're like, this would be good?
No, that's why I'm like, it sounds good, but I have no idea what skill to pick for it. So,
okay, I'm going to think on that one.
I'm just saying, I think hand-to-hand combat is a really important skill, considering you guys are waging a war against the Anguishers.
Well, I'd probably say like guns are better than hand-to-hand combat.
Ooh, wait, are we living like in a modern world, or is this like in a
So actually, that's kind of the thing, and that's one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about when we started working on Towen. There are certain powers, right? That nobles and imperators have, but based on those certain powers, you guys might be able to step through time. So a lot of it will take place in the modern world. A lot of it will also take place on a completely different planet, or even among the branches of the world Ash, inside your own chancel. 532.6 years ago, London. Really, like, kind of wherever you guys needed to go, there could be a way to get there.
Okay. So, yeah, I like the idea of being masterful at, like, we could do, like, aim if you don't want to go for just guns. Then we could be really good at aiming things. So if we needed to pull out a bow and arrow, we could be really good at aiming that, or aiming a gun, or aiming sarcasm.
I don't know, though, that aiming would be a skill. And I'm sorry that this is where I have to steamroll you. Just because, like, just speaking as me, I'm not too bad with a gun. I can aim a gun. I can get a pretty tight scatter on a target. But if you hand me a bow and arrow, that thing's going into the brush. I'm not hitting nothing. So aiming is a little broad. And the broadness is where we want your estates. Right? So like if you want to be the god of aiming, then you can start talking about all of the countless things that you can aim. But when we're talking about one specific skill to absolutely master, that's when we have to be pretty specific with it.
Okay. Well, I gave my creative answer, Bradley. I don't know if this one's the one for us. Maybe if Laura was here.
She will be later.
Let's table it in case Laura wants to explore it. But I think that Bradley and I are not passionate about this one, it sounds like. But I don't want to speak for Bradley. I just want to align with Bradley.
I mean, it definitely sounds like a possibility. I just don't have a good answer because, like, I have things that Tomo wants, but I don't want to just pick things that Tomo wants.
But what if you did pick things Tomo wants and the rest of the group also wanted that? Then you can at least ask.
Well, Tomo would want guns.
Okay. There we go. Well, I think if we're going to spend most of our time in the modern world, guns is a very reasonable skill.
Well, I don't know if there's like limits to taking things back to the past. I don't know if there's technological barriers because I know that's something you can get for your chancel is like to prevent like the loss of technology.
So when we get to that point, we can because we haven't gotten into the whole chancel thing yet. We could definitely talk about that kind of a thing. Like if you guys really wanted guns, that could be something that you guys have on you when you're in your chancel, or like the Wild West, or when you go to 1980s Chicago, or even when you're stepping through time to hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Now, I don't have the whole 300 pages to this game memorized, so I can't tell you if there are going to be technological barriers. But it is something that we can keep in mind.
Okay. All right. I think we should table it and
for now,
present it when Laura gets back. Yeah.
Tabled. You got it. Next, since we're not corrupted, even though I really liked that idea, there is multitudinous mystery cults that have many numbers, and in particular, many members willing to sacrifice themselves to achieve the power's goals. They cannot safely be given rein to solve a problem themselves. The typical member of a mystery cult is anything but subtle or clever. Self-sacrifice is often enough, though. Empowers can throw sheer numbers of cultists at a problem and learn much by observing which fronts the excrucians choose to defend. Large cults are also typically rich, which means that a power far from their chancel can obtain money to buy things that they cannot create. And if a PC's Imperator does not have this property, the characters can still develop cults, holdings, and agents in the outside world, but on a somewhat smaller scale, with more active and effort needed to maintain them. So it's basically an army that will do absolutely anything for you guys. That's a 2-pointer.
I think, wasn't that the 1-pointer?
That was multitudinous. Oh, you're right. My goodness. I see a lot of these are backwards, like up here. Like passionate for some reason was before fervent, so I just assumed this one was the same way. And I was wrong. That was multitudinous. Empowered is the 2-pointer. And empowered mystery cults touch somewhat on the deeper mysteries of the Imperator they serve. They have some personal magics, which are unreliable, weak, and a subset of the magics of their Imperator's nobles. More useful to most powers is the cultist's sensitivity to the magics of their Imperator. Powers can therefore store miracles within the cultists, set to activate near or on the relevant cultist when a certain situation occurs. Empowering mystery cults are also multitudinous and have corresponding advantages. So in addition to the massive army that will fight for your every belief, you can basically set walking time bombs of miracles.
Jesus.
So if you have like a small cult sect in let's just say it again, 1980s Chicago, and an excrucian shows up and tries to lay waste to downtown Chicago, there just happens to be a cultist with a miracle implanted on them to ward off any destructive power. It might stop that excrucian from its goal, or it gives you guys enough time to get there so that you can. That one's kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. I feel like it would work with all of us.
It does sound like it would work with all of us.
That one is also going to be really cool because that one is what's going to keep a living, breathing world, and not just like, okay, this is what we're doing this week, because things are going to progress. Now, like when you have those bombs that you just kind of send out, that's what's gonna like now I have to take into account the entire world. That's gonna be fun.
Okay. Well, I vote for it.
For Empower?
Yeah, I mean, that was one that Toma wanted, so I'm definitely voting for it.
Oh, all right. Well, let's.
He likes his people.
He does, yes, and his people like him. Hopefully.
Let's go ahead and just add that one then. That gives us 2 points left. So you guys can take 2 1-point properties or a 2-pointer. Let's see, disrespectful, and it looks like we've got bright and dim wordings left to go through. So bright, that's the 2-pointer. Bright wardings are the strongest wardings known. Nobles with bright wardings drive excrucian anchors into agony by their proximity and break their connection to their masters with a touch. Excrucian shards cannot divine the location of the warded characters, nor can they come within 50 feet of one. The ward drives them back snarling. Their magics are weaker where a ward is set, and if the warded nobles' auctoritas extend 50 feet in all directions. The effect is even more extreme with full excrucians, except that full excrucians can, given a few minutes, dispel the warding. An Imperator who gives a bright warding will almost always replace one if it is dispelled. That's a good one. That is like a non-stop shield for you guys against any excrucian force. And then dim wardings are going to be not quite so strong. Excrucian anchors can still be rescued by touching them, and excrucian shards cannot divine the location of a warded character. However, excrucian shards and full excrucians will only feel a strong discomfort when near such a power, rather than being driven away. And there is no effect on the warded nobles' auctoritas. Bubbles.
Look how you pronounce that different every single time.
That's because I can't remember how I've pronounced it the last time, because I hope with every fiber of my being that it will not come up again. So I know I gave that one a little bit of a Spanish flair on the end. I don't remember what I did last time.
They're all perfect. They're all right.
Auctoritas.
And
that's it. That is the end. Those are the properties that we have left.
I really thought it was going to be easier to choose a positive property, but it was actually easier to choose the negative ones.
Right? So 2 more left. Yeah. The ones that we have notated are clear-sighted to give you guys wisdom. I know that you guys weren't super excited about polished. But then there's the wards, and the wards seem pretty hefty.
Yeah, the ward seems pretty good to me as well.
What would you guys like?
I really wish Laura was here to weigh in.
I can go get her.
That's okay. I think she's needed where she's at. I just feel bad choosing without her. I mean, Bradley, what are you leaning towards?
I mean, the thing I'm leaning towards is something that I was kind of confused on when we went over, so I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay. So maybe table it.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably best we wait. See what if. I mean, we're still able to change this, but I mean, I don't know if we really want to go back to this like next week to go over things.
I feel like getting everything set now for Towen. Next time we can just jump into the chancel. Because I'll be honest, creating these things is so in depth that it always takes twice as much time as I think it's going to. I was like, oh yeah, we did Laura and Bradley in 2 hours. We can get Megan in an hour, and then we were doing that for over 2, and then and now with Towen, it's like, oh wow, we're a little over 2 hours in.
It's so complex.
It's so complex. High concept game this is. Let me go trade out with Laura. I'll have her come in here and replace me, and you guys can go over the options that you're leaning toward, and she can maybe.
It's no pressure if he wants Laura.
Huh? What?
If
the boy
Calvin needs, needs Laura. I don't know. I feel weird like mentioning him on stream. I don't know why. Like protecting little boy Blue over there.
I really appreciate it. Let me just go see if she'll come in, and then I'll trade out and I'll do what I have to do with the small one. Okay. But I do think that it would be beneficial to y'all's if you guys got this decided. So yeah, let me go see if she can come in.
Bradley, could you re-explain bright wardings and dim wardings to me?
So, well, we're not going to worry about warding, not warning. So, bright warding is basically it's like a kind of a shield where excrucians can't come within 50 feet of us.
Okay.
And we also get a bonus to our like armor, basically.
Okay. Why would we not choose that one?
I mean, I like it, so I mean, I wouldn't argue with that.
Okay, cool. I was reading it and I was like, man, that one seems like a really good one. I feel like it would be fun to have like a deep understanding of these and then choose the weaknesses and the strengths.
Yeah. The one that I was confused about when we were going over, I just wasn't 100% sure why we were against Transcendent. I mean, it makes us obviously really powerful, so I'm fine just not having it regardless. I just don't really understand the reasoning we went with to not have it.
Transcendent. I don't even remember that one. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go back and read it real quick.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Is it my friends?
Welcome.
I mean, I guess you can call us that.
Well, that's kind of rude, but okay. I see Bradley's getting into character. That's fine.
Bradley's like, you're chaos and I'm heaven, and that girl over there is hell, and so I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Little Mr. Dude is kind of a personality tonight, so I had to keep hopping on and off.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Cool.
We're choosing a strength. I do like the idea of Transcendent, Bradley. I don't remember reading that, and I don't remember taking it off the table, so I don't know that I could help understand why we did that.
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously very powerful, so that might have been why we sidestepped it, because it was like, well, being nigh immortal is, kind of powerful.
A little OP.
Yeah, so if that's the reason that George went against it, I'm fine with it. I didn't really understand why we put it off the table.
Oh, is it because it's at the expenditure of an Imperator point? Is that why? Did it have something to do with that, like last couple sentences or the last sentence? Because I remember reading that sentence now. I just don't remember what.
What page are you guys on?
I'm currently on page 146. I'm going between 145 and 146 because Transcendent starts on 145.
Okay.
But Bradley and I are going between Transcendent and Bright Warding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transcendent are beyond divine glories. Existence that grows in their hearts. I know you guys covered this already, so this is really lame. I'm sorry. Okay, so Transcendent and what was the other one, Megan? And Bradley, I guess?
Bright Warding. Sorry.
Warding, yeah. Oh. No, that was good. Mine always sounds like warning, and so it's good Bradley said it. Because she'd be like, I don't know where it is.
What page is that one?
It's like 5 pages down.
Okay, because I swear
152. Yeah, the thing is, Bright Warnings is a thing. It's also that's why it's in the same category as Bright Warding. That's why I had to clarify which one.
Okay, and you were doing warding, like you can protect things. Is that it?
Ward, yes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a shield, kind of.
Yeah, strongest wardings now. Bradley, okay, you guys. One of the things I've been trying to research about this game is if there's a lot of battles, I guess you could say, or conflict that, I don't know. I guess when we were playing around with the idea of doing this, it sounded like it was more roleplay, this is our world, and how we're going to do things. And then the more we've been discussing this and going through the PDF, it's like, protect yourself, how to fight. And I was like, oh gosh, this is a lot more similar to D&D than I thought it would be. So is that accurate, that it's...
I don't know. Because the example powers they give are books and storms and stuff like that. So it's you can't just be focused on fighting. I don't think there is it does talk about how fights go and stuff, but especially when it comes to Tomo's power, well, he's not going to do much in fights. Drown someone in ink, I guess.
I don't know. Have you ever been hit by a book, Bradley?
Yeah, I mean, one of his abilities is going to be make a pen mightier than the sword.
Oh,
there you go.
Like that.
I think that as far as fighting goes, it sounds like we get to decide how much.
Good.
So if we want to go out and pick fights, I think we can. But if we don't, I don't think that's built into the storyline like D&D.
Perfect. All right. No rolling for initiative. That's good.
I'm sitting here trying to roll for intelligence just to understand this thing.
You have no idea. And it doesn't help that I've been hopping in and out, and it's oh good, I missed something really vital.
Oh good.
This will work out. It's fine. Fake it till you make it.
Yes.
Are you guys leaning between the two of them? Because they both sound really neat, except Transcendent sounds just a little weird to me in the part where it says we don't ask the Imperator for help for these gifts, but sometimes we get them.
It's basically just saying like that this if you get this bonus, this isn't something the characters will ever ask for. It's just like you do get them if you spend the points for them, but it's not something that will like bother the Imperators. Like, hey, can you like make us immune to this thing, pretty please? It would just be like if we spend the points, we get this bonus kind of thing.
Okay.
But that might be why we skipped it. Is that we were like because we didn't mark this down, so that might have been the reason why.
Okay.
Maybe. Man, I just like the idea of being all powerful. Just even for 1 second. I feel like the least complicated of the two is Bright Wardings.
Yeah.
But the other one Transcendent might be more fun to play and to like have that complexity.
Because Nobilis is just too simple on its own.
Yeah. That was well said.
I think honestly, like warding sounds like it would be useful, but Transcendent sounds like it could be fun. But if George and it sounds like maybe even Bradley were a little like about it.
Well, no, I mean I really like it. It just I don't know why we skipped it.
Oops.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Kenobi doesn't want to hang out.
Huh? Sorry,
I made Kenobi mad. I brought him over and he got really mad at me.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want to just do Transcendent?
I'm down. I'll do either one.
Yeah, I'm fine with either one too. I don't know. Well, we'll have to make sure that George is also fine with either one.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, because we did talk about it. I literally don't remember. So I think my brain went on overload mode where it was like, oh, this is so much information.
Mm-hmm. Is that all you guys had left to do is pick that, or did we have a lot?
Yeah,
I think so.
I believe that's the main things we're picking for Towen.
Okay. Did you guys decide what his code is?
We did not. We don't have his age, estate, gender code.
Yeah, those all sound like personal choices. I guess it makes sense that we focus on how his things affect us. So.
Yeah, I mean, and we also haven't picked necessarily anything that we directly have to rely on what his code is. Mm-hmm. So while we'll obviously care what his code is, currently we're not going to be punished for not following his code or anything like that.
Okay.
All right, so it sounds like we'll go with Transcendent if George is fine with it. If not, we'll go with Bright Warding.
I like that. I think that's a good game plan.
And if he doesn't like that, we'll make up something even more ridiculous that benefits us so that the other two don't seem so bad.
There we go. Yes.
Putting our creativity to the test here.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that all we're deciding tonight? Is that literally everything?
I think so. I don't know if George wants us to like make up any handicaps or anything like that. I think that's mostly stuff that he does as the
Holly Hawk God. I thought the whole time, and then Aaron wrote in the chat the flower, and I was like, "Is that what it is?" And then I was like, "I'm just gonna keep saying Holly Hot God until somebody corrects me." So that was a great learning. It was great.
I liked it.
The Holly Hot to God. Which, if you started off with the PDF that has the anime characters, it makes sense to be called the Holly Hot God, because that's the kind of like mystical that it builds.
And it's just anime for you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so funny. Well, good job, guys.
Well, yay! Sorry that I missed out so much tonight.
That's okay. Good. You'll be here for the other nights.
I know, and apparently
you got a little person.
That little person. How many hours though, you guys, has it taken us to get this far in creating the game?
About
6.5.
6, yeah, something like that.
And we're not even fully done creating Towen.
Nope.
But
and we
it'll
still have
get
the
easier
chancel.
as we know. Yeah, we still have the chancel. I think the homework for this week can be reading up on chancels.
Yeah.
So that George maybe doesn't have to explain as much next week, because I know that's something that, like, if I didn't need him to re-explain a couple things, I think it could have gone a little faster.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have some like ideas of what you'd want in a chancel, because like
True.
Tomo has some ideas that what he would want with the chancel. So if you guys have some ideas, we can kind of talk about those instead of trying to like discover what everything is and then talk about them.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we have like a soft pretzel cart in our chancel?
Yes, it's a must. If Bradley's on board, it's a good idea. It's good.
Bradley, do you even like soft pretzels?
They are a solid 6 out of 10.
Hey, 6 out of 10. That's actually higher than I thought you were going to rate them. So I feel like this was a win.
The only thing I know for sure that you like are those baked hot Cheetos. And that's because George told me.
That is all I eat.
Wait, don't you like Gardettos? Or was it just that they bought you Gardettos?
They saw me got that. George saw me buy that from a vending machine at work, so he also bought that. Yes.
Does that say something, you guys, about how George at work with Bradley watches what he eats, so that way we know what we can provide whenever we get together?
That's either really true friendship or I don't know. That has to be real friendship when you actually like pay attention to your friends. That's sweet.
If you were gonna say that was either true friendship or him being creepy, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
say. No, because I was like, well, I actually wasn't even thinking on that road.
Oh. Well, I
to
was
be
just
honest,
thinking, I feel like best friends are kind of creepy with each other a little bit. Like we all know very a lot of details about each other, and
I feel like it's only creepy if it's not. If it's non-consensual. But I feel like if like your best friend wants to know your deepest, darkest secret, but they're your best friend, you're like fine with them knowing.
Yeah.
It's when you deny somebody that and then they know it that I think it becomes creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I didn't even think about saying creepy when I was saying the first sentence. But now that I'm reflecting on it, I'm like, wow, that is how that sounded.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that's what anybody would think if you just imagine George peeking around a corner watching Bradley eat his little snack out of a vending machine.
That's true. I guess if you don't know George, you would be picturing that. But George is very like quietly observant.
Yes.
Like he doesn't let you know he's watching, but he is very like intentional with what he makes mental notes about with his friends, which I think is amazing.
The thing is, it's very noteworthy when I ever ate anything at work because I don't eat lunches or anything, and that's why he remembered.
Oh, this was an event then, from what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's something that they gasp in horror or amazement whenever they see me eat.
I love that. Oh man, that's great. All right, well, I'm going to end this stream. We don't have to stop talking, but I'm going to end this stream here, you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out. I think I'm streaming tomorrow night, and so I'll keep you updated on social media on that. And yeah, I really appreciate you, and have a good night, guys.
So, Megan, are you still there?
I am still here. Hello.
George pressured me to sit in his chair really fast because I don't think he wanted a blank chair. And
turn the video on.
No, please don't. I look like a grandma right now because I was chasing a dog that we're babysitting and a 3-year-old, and I am a hot mess, minus I guess the hot. But I don't know how to end this. How do you end the video?
Wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry. I'm on Twitch. Laura, I can see you on Twitch.
Hi, friends.
I think George is streaming.
I know, and I'm like, I need to turn this off. So, hi, everybody. I don't even think there's anybody on here, but I need to turn this off.
Okay, do you see on one of the screens there should be like a Streamlab here?
Where it says
actually, I can show you this. Yeah.
I found it. Oh, what is this little thing?
I think you look cute.
Oh, thanks, friend. You're so nice to me. Okay, I am going to end this now. And so I don't think anybody's even on here, and I don't even know how to look. So to anybody who may ever see this in the future, thank you for watching. Right, and bye.